Welcome to our third academic parent-teacher team meeting. We've had a really great time learning with you guys this year and kind of building community between our classrooms. And we've really been able to see the value of teaching parents what we do in the classroom and having you guys be able to bring it home. So thank you so much for taking time out of your day to come and meet with us and provide academic experiences for your child at home.
All right, so we're going to start tonight off with an icebreaker. And we really want you to not only think of Miss Brady and I as resources, but really think of each other as resources too. So to start the activity, you're going to think of something that your child is struggling with. It could be academic, like identifying the letters in their name, or it could be social skill-based. We're going to hand out animal cards. You're going to actually make the sound of that farm animal. Find the person in the room who's also making the same sound, and then you're going to brainstorm together how to think through that problem.
The first time you meet them, that's her why to get like used to people. What's like the best way I can
So we're just going to go over our norms quickly. Previously, you all have done such a great job. We ask that you hold all questions until break time. We've actually set aside time after every activity where you can ask us questions to clarify. We want you to remember that your child's learning is a starting place from which they will grow. So your child will always be able to master the task. Don't focus so much on where they are now. Focus on where they can go and what you can do at home to help them. So the first skill that we're going to talk about today is receptive language, which is how well your child can understand what they're hearing. So does this sound familiar to you? Did you hear me? Do you feel like you ask your child that frequently throughout the day?
Who says that at least 5 times a day? Did you hear me?
So your child is always hearing what you're saying, but are they actually able to listen and comprehend what you mean? Receptive language is important because as your child enters kindergarten, which will be next year or the year after, they will be given difficult tasks that require them to have strong receptive language skills and really understand what the teacher is asking. So that could be comprehending, reading a book, a new story, or it could also mean following and understanding the directions during independent work time. All right, so receptive language, again, is the skill of understanding what you hear, and in our classrooms, it might look a variety of ways. It could look like understanding the daily schedule and really understanding what activities we're doing first and then after. It could mean following directions and rules of the classroom. It could also mean understanding new vocabulary, and it could also look like comprehending emotions, which is what we're going to talk about today. All right, so if you reach into your bag, you should see a packet, and look for the title Receptive Language. So right now, take a moment to see where your child is developing. Can I borrow this? If you look at the goal sheet, the first skill is receptive language, and you can see the number that correlates to where they are right now.
Just to clarify, if your child is at a level 2, that means they've mastered each of the indicators in 1 and each of the indicators in 2. And they're working on the indicators in 3. So if they're at a level 3, they've mastered everything through 3, and they're working on 4.
So the activity that we're giving you today is called So Many Emotions. The directions to the activity include, first you're going to read a story to your child, and you want this to be a story that you're reading all the way through. It could be a new book, or it could be a book that your child is really familiar with. After you've read the story, you're going to go through and pick a couple pages, and you're going to use your emotions chart, the yellow piece of paper with all the faces.
And then after you go back through the story and track the emotions, you would make the faces. So if the character is happy, you would point to happy, and you could say, the character is happy, can you smile with me? And then you would smile for them. Or the character is afraid, can you show afraid with me?
If you want to make the activity a little bit more difficult for your child, you can have them extend the activity by actually writing in their journal about a time that they might have felt the same way as the character. Or you could actually choose 2 emotions from the character chart and have your child try to identify which emotion the character is actually feeling.
So before we practice this skill, to help it make a little more sense, we've made a video of us doing this activity. So when we watch this video, I would like you to notice how Ms. Tomac picks 1 or 2 emotions from the story to talk about after she's read the story.
Can you show me a surprise face? Good job.
What we're gonna do is look at the page in your packet that says receptive language. We actually printed the steps off for you. So use this page to practice reading this, pretend like you were reading with your child. And then you can use the next page. It has levels 1, 2, 3, and 4. If your child's at a level 2, it lists some ways for you to practice the skill with them at that level. If they're at a level 4, it lists some ways for you to practice. So think about where your child is and pick a story and practice with someone next to you. How would you use this story?
So some things to remember when you're doing the activity. We'd like for you to model using emotional vocabulary. So if you say, oh, the character's happy, really showing your child what a happy face looks like. And something to avoid is asking yes or no questions. We really want to push your child's thinking. So really asking them questions that can have an extension that they answer.
Now we're going to practice and look through the books on your table and actually act out how you would do this activity with your child.
What else might he be feeling? Because we've read the story.
Take her a while to get like used to people. What's like the best way I can?
So when I was walking around, I noticed that you all are kind of naturals at this activity. So you were naturally asking those open-ended questions, which is great because it's going to keep your child thinking at a higher level, which is what we want. And also, you guys were getting really silly with acting out the emotions, which is really important. If we're not making an angry face when we say angry, then angry is just a word that doesn't have meaning. So we have to show the angry face so that they understand, like, when they see that face in someone else, that means angry.
All right, so take some time right now to set a goal. You can talk with your table about how you feel like this might benefit your child. Think of a time of day where you think you could fit this in. Is it going to be at night before your child goes to bed? Is it going to be during the weekend? Set aside a time where you think you could add this activity. And then think of also additional tips. I know I heard a lot of great ideas when I was walking around. So what else could you do to extend the activity, make it more difficult, or really personalize it for your child?
So again, if your child's at a level 2, pick one indicator in 3. Maybe even circle it and say, that's the one I'm really going to work on right now. And once they master that, I'll pick the next one. So we'll come around now and show you guys where to document your goals. So let's see. So you would put the goal here, and then you write about. I know you guys are finishing writing, but we just want to say thank you for coming today. It truly means a lot that you took time out of your really busy evening to come and spend this time with us, building community with other family members, and also learning about best practices for your 3, 4, and 5-year-olds. So thank you so much for coming. Really appreciate it.